OCC Chariots is one of the earliest war timings you can do in Civ 5. That also means that it's the highest risk with the smallest margins for error. In this video, I'm going to show you how to do it versus Deity AI and real human opponents. In this series, I'm going to cover all of the major timing attacks in Civ 5, starting in the Ancient era and working our way through to the Info era. OCC Chariots can hit as early as turn 20 and needs to be over by turn 50. Based on your cultural policies, there are three versions. 1. Tradition, which is the safest as it does not compromise your long-term growth or culture. 2. Liberty Republic for the extra production, which can also be followed up by collective rule for a free settler that you otherwise wouldn't have access to as you don't have time to build a settler. Or 3, the most all-in version of all, Liberty Citizenship, meaning that you can build archers instead of building a worker and attack with even more power. Note with the Liberty options, you're not going to have time to build a monument, so you are going to be hampering your late-term growth and culture. So here's how to do it. You want to grow your cities aggressively, working your strongest food and production tiles until you can stagnate, working all of your strong production tiles. So this means tiles like plains horses and iron or mining luxuries. Usually this will be pop 3 or pop 4. It's very rare to be able to grow to pop 5 as it's simply too slow. As soon as you decide to rush chariots, you need to immediately tech animal husbandry to reveal your horses and get them improved. You need to have a worker available the turn you complete animal husbandry. Sometimes you can steal a worker or tribute one and buy it with gold, but often this will be too slow. You can also multi-steal workers for a more all-in version of this attack. However, this does mean that you're going to sacrifice city-state allies in the late game. This isn't recommended if you're near cultural city-states as their benefits are just too impactful. Once your horse tiles are improved, improve your other production tiles, such as iron. Once your iron's improved, you want to chop all forests that are within 2 to 3 tiles of your capital. Finally, once you've chopped all of the relevant forests, you want to build a road towards the war front. After animal husbandry, tech archery, and in between archery and the wheel, build 2 to 3 archers. Once you've researched the wheel, immediately start building chariots and continue until you run out of horses. You need an absolute minimum of 2 capture units, and 3 or even 4 is preferred, particularly in multiplayer games. Scouts are perfectly acceptable as capture units because you're not using them as blocker units, you're only using them to capture the city. You can build your capture units after you've already declared war and you're starting to win. Just take into account the build time and the time it will take to move them in range to capture the city. Once your opponent's capital is within 2 turns of being 0 health, you can move both or all of your capture units within range to capture on the same turn. This is so your capture units can't be picked off one by one. Against the AI, you want to declare as soon as you've got the majority of your chariots out and you're chopping out the last few chariots to speed up their production. Against multiplayer opponents, you can afford to declare war against a flatland capital with 2 chariots, plus your archers and your capture units, and a city settled on a hill with 4 chariots, plus your archers and your capture units. And that's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them down below, and I'll see you in the next episode.